Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Albert Sugar Bear Barbieri, also known as
number 8 in your scorecard, number 1 in your heart. Get me into double somewhere, and I might find out what I can do instantly because I'm a late bloomer. That I believe was the probably knowing now with that how that goes. They would have probably stuck me somewhere high A, double A somewhere to see if I'm the goods, and so that never happens. But so now I need validation. I need serious validation. Where am I going to get it? Playing with future minor leaguers and future major leaguers. So when that Barber tells me we hold a tryout for the residents of Alaska, I happen to have a dear friend. He's my best friend still today, Dominic Toda. He's from Southwest Philly, grew up in South Philly. He just recently got a job offer. He was working for PP Oil, and they were offering guys who wanted to go to the pipeline, make a move, and work on the pipeline. So I'm friendly with him a year before. He tells me about this. I tell him about my aspirations to go to Alaska and make this team and why. He invites me to come with him and his wife. And that's a break. Because would I have done it on my own? Probably yes. I probably would have went there. I probably would have went in January. He moves. The company moves him out in January. I go with him. Okay? And now I'm a resident. And now I'm going to go to this tryout on June 4th. And I tell this story. People can punch me up on YouTube, my Alaska League story. You can see it. I'm going to get it. Well, I go to this tryout. Keep in mind, I'm a year removed from any kind of baseball from the summer before playing in Philly, amateur league. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a tryout. I'm going to go to a tryout where it's going to be a bullshit tryout. They're going to fungo some balls to the outfielders. These kids are young kids. They got sneakers, sweatpants, throwing the ball to home. They're going to take 49 bounces to get to the home plate. Now with the infielders, we're going to take some ground balls. I got a major league arm. I jump in first. Now when they want to see me, I look like a player. I got my Puma cleats on, blue. I got New York Mets gray with the orange and blue stripe. I got a Mizuno top on. I look like a major leaguer.
Yeah.
Ground ball, I show off my arm. The board of directors from the Anchorage Pilots are off to the side in the dugout. You can hear them whispering, who the fuck's this guy? After the tryout, Steve McFarland comes in, the manager. He dismisses me. They want to see you take a few hacks. They give me 5 swings. I hit 4 of them out of the ballpark. The other one was a line drive up the middle. Make a long story short, I make the ball club. The manager just disregards me, jerks me off, tells me he don't have a catcher because he's involved in the College World Series in the beginning of the season. He's going to put me behind the plate because during the tryout, after I took some hacks, he wanted to say, you did any catching? Yeah, I did some catching. Takes an old man, old-time scout, Jack O'Toole, down the bullpen. Here's Randy Johnson, a young kid, 19 years old. Mark Gardner, another future major leaguer, and I'm catching them. And then I show off my arm when Steve McFarland wants to see if I can catch and throw. And he tells me the first road trip, this kid from Oklahoma State, Mike Day, isn't going to be around because he's involved in the College World Series. Then he's going to put me behind a plate. He lies to me. I don't do it. You don't put me in the game. 10 games, 11 games. I don't get an at-bat. I'm the only utility infielder. I don't get an inning late in the game where we're beating somebody 10-1. He just don't give me nothing. Long story short, I asked for my release, and I go home. I go to play, finish that summer in 84. I come back. Now I do it again in 85, and I make the Anchorage Bucks. I'm the first kid ever to walk on the Alaska League. Not only 1 year, 2 years, make the team as a walk-on. And that's what made me move to Anchorage, Alaska. And I had to do it. And I accomplished something. It was a hell of an accomplishment because I knew these kids were the future major leaguers and minor leaguers. That I can walk on, get 3 ground balls, 5 hacks, and make a team because he had no choice. He's seen the goods in me like the goods in the kids that he picked from his college season. And I played 2 years in a row. It was a beautiful experience. And then, having a mother around changes my decisions in life. Would I have done that? Probably so, because I knew I wasn't going to live there. But now, when I come home from that, a year later, I go to L.A. Now I'm moving. And then I move 4 or 5 times back to L.A., back to South Philly. No mother.
What connection do you have in L.A. to even go there?
That's funny you asked me that. The traveling secretary for the Anchorage Pilots his name was Hugh Grew. Still friends with him today. He was dear friends with Steve Agbaba, the general manager of the 84 Glacier Pilots. I stay in touch with him. It's Labor Day of 1986. I'll never forget it. I get a phone call from him, or I call him. He tells me he had a bunch of people visiting that summer. He's living in Hollywood, California. La Brea. Hillside in La Brea. Anybody's familiar with La Brea? In L.A., you go up La Brea to the very end. Hillside is the last street before you go on Outpost Drive, where you go on the other side of North Hollywood or the Hollywood sign. He's living there with a buddy. He says, you ever been to Southern Cal? I said, no. Because once you come out, visit. It's like 6 at night, this phone call, Philly. I get on a red eye, 11:30. That night, I go, stay, 10 days. And then this fascinating journey just begins. I go on the dating game while I was there. That's crazy.
You went on the dating game?
I was on the dating game on my vacation. Yeah. It was 10 days. By the time I got there, I knew I was moving back. I was there 10 days. I was at Hollywood Man Chinese Theater, where the famous fingerprints and footprints are there. These people that work for these shows, the soap operas, the game shows, and everything, they're there to recruit people to be in the audience, right? But this one guy comes up to me, and he's trying to recruit me to go on the all-new dating game. Not the one back in the 60s. There's an all-new dating game starting up in the mid-80s. And I misunderstand him. And when he tells me what he's trying to tell me and I understand him, my buddy Hugh convinces me, do it. Why don't you go? I do it. I go on the dating game. But this girl picks me. I go to London, England. That's another horrible story.
The one where you're behind the curtain, they're behind the wall,
behind the petition, behind the petition. Yes, and she is.
I'm going to try to find it.
That's on there. It's on there. Just for your listeners, listen. All these stories, you go on YouTube, just search Albert Sugar Bear Barbieri, and you get even the Alaska League story. That's more to it. That took me on a journey to make my minor league pro debut at 44 years old, that Alaska League story. But yeah, the girl picked me. You'll see the story. It's on there. I even tell the story about what happens after she picks me. Go to London, England, 8 days with her, me, my chaperone, another couple, her chaperone. That story's on YouTube. Just punch me up, Albert Sugar Bear Barbieri. You'll see the Alaska story. There's others, ton of shit. But there's an extension to that Alaska League. I go back in 2001 because I was living in Southern California from 93. I go back in 93, and I got to get out of the house. I was living with my aunt. She passed away, and I'm in great shape at the time. I'm 42, and I happened to go to Pepperdine University College because I would take my friends down Pacific Coast Highway when they come in to visit, and a couple of these guys were baseball guys. We go into Pepperdine. It's summertime. It's open. You drive right in there, the baseball field. We took out our bats. I always got bats, fungo bats, baseballs in my trunk. We go in the field. I start hitting balls. The ball jumping off my bat like I'm 25 years old. And I have this crazy thought of, man, I'd like to go back to Anchorage, Alaska, because I never said goodbye to the general manager of the 85 Anchorage Bucks team I played with, who tried to convince me, you don't want to play for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. They're not going to play a walk-on like you. My team, I make all the decisions. I know you can play, because I went to his tryout too. He tried to talk me out of going with the Pilots. And he was right, because the manager jerked me off. He promised me I would play as a walk-on. I would probably play more than the shortstop that he's bringing in, right? From Santa Barbara or wherever he was from. And I just got caught up with Steve Agbaba and the Anchorage Pilots. They had the stadium, Mulcahy Stadium. They had a clubhouse. Dennis Mattingly's team was only in the league 4 years. You know, his team got dressed in the men's room where the soccer team played. And, you know, so I just rebuked him. But then I went back in 85. I made his team. I played as a walk-on. But we posted the worst Anchorage League record, still stands today, 12-39. Okay. Can you imagine losing 10 games in a row 3 times during the season? And anyway, but I had the thrill of my life because I was playing, and I was, you know, playing with the top college prospects in the country. So I said to myself in '01, man, I should go back there. At least I never said goodbye to Dennis. I just abruptly left in August, and I sent him a tape of me working out as a 42-year-old. I had no clue if I was going to be able to play. It's a college league. I sent him a tape. I never got a reply. I find about when their tryout's going to be because they hold a tryout. Without him replying to my tape, I send a VHS tape. I explained to him why I want to come at 42 years old. I don't get a reply. I still get on a plane and go to Anchorage, Alaska. I get off the plane. I go to a payphone. He's the general manager of the Anchorage Bucks. His name's going to be in the phone book. His home picks up the phone. I said, Dennis? He goes, is this Al Barbieri? He knew right away from my accent. And he knew that I'm nuts enough. And I said, yeah, Dennis Al. He goes, just like this, Staxx, are you here? I said, of course I'm here. Because he knows. He knows I'm a sick motherfucker. I said, yeah, Dan, I'm here. I said, can I play? He says, Al, listen, it's not like when you played in the 80s where I was the general manager. I was everything. I made all the decisions. We have coaches now. They make decisions. Come to the yard tomorrow, and I'll explain it to them. I can't promise you. Okay. I go to Mulcahy Stadium. Wasn't a tryout. No, it was a tryout. Coaches are there. The coach is there. His name was Gil Stafford. No, I'm sorry. I'm going far ahead. I'm way back. This is 2001. I get there. Two young coaches. I'm 42. They're in their 30s. Jim Yanko, Mike Buckmiller, and this kid Borello. His name was Borello. Can you imagine Borelli or Borello? Not a kid.
No relation, right?
No relation to the Borello that's all over YouTube. No relation to him. But anyway, these kids are in their 30s, college coaches. I get there. No, it's no trial. We're just there. Some of the kids are in because the season's about to start. And I'm short-sighted out. By this time, my major league arm is long gone. It's dead. It's dead. I know up in 1998 it still had the goods, but come 2001, my arm's dead. And I make the excuse as I'm taking ground is that, like, I strained it or I slept on it because I don't want them to know I can't throw. Because all I got left is my bat, and I still got the goods to swing the bat and the ball jumping off my bat. And, you know, these coaches are like, Dennis, this guy's 42 years old. What's he doing here? Dennis explains to them, look, this is one of my former teammates in 85. He explained to them, just wants to come back, see if he can give back appreciation, thanks. He never said thank you to me. It's just his way of being appreciative of the Alaska League, what it gave him. And they're like, okay. So Dennis says, listen, let's keep him on the roster until our roster is full because, like I said in the beginning, a lot of kids are involved in the College World Series, and as time goes on, the roster is going to get filled. So he said, let's keep him on the roster, and we'll decide what to do with him when the roster gets full. Right? They're like, okay, that's cool. Whatever you want, Dennis. Dennis is the GM, right?
Yeah.
June 17th, I'm in the dugout. Yanko, the manager, Al, swing a bat. I'm not even prepared. Swing a bat, right? Fuck. Okay. Fuck. I go up there with an 0-1 pitch, and I hit a smoking line drive left center off a kid coming right from the College World Series. Forget about it. I mean, I hit a fucking ball. My teammates were in shock. I turned on this ball, line drive right over shortstop. It got more attention than the game. Before you know it, Al Barbieri, the first walk-on ever. Now he's the oldest player in the Alaska League to get a hit. The newspaper swallowed it up. I got all the attention.